All right, everyone. Thanks for joining us tonight for our first of what will undoubtedly be once per semester Cube Night. I'm joined here with my name is Zachary Evans. I'm joined with Ian Nolte, and tonight we are going to draft my cube, which we would do probably anyway on a Wednesday night. But thanks to the powers of the internet and my addiction with live streaming, we're going to do it live streaming for you. So here's what's going to happen. We have my cube. It's a 360 card, unpowered, underpowered cube is what I like to call it. The list is available on Google Docs. My email is zachsellsmagic@gmail.com. I tried to upload it today, but they switched that Google Drive like software. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Let's just say I had a hard time doing what I thought was going on. It's up there. I just don't know how other people can access it. So if you want to take a look at my list, try to find it on Google Docs, or you can just get in touch with me on Twitter or at my email address, or just type into the chat when eventually someone follows us. But like I said, it's the first thing you're going to notice is, like I said, I like to call it unpowered, underpowered. So there's no fast mana, there's no soul ring, there's no mana vault, there's no dark ritual, there's no Power 9 or anything like that. But also there is some what I would call cube staples that aren't in there that I would imagine I haven't included. The best reason is just because I'm a spendthrift, basically. There's no dual lands and there's no fetch lands. That's basically just because I don't like to take cards out of my cube. Once a card goes in my cube, it stays in my cube forever. So if I don't have one to put in there that I don't need for an EDH deck or a legacy deck, I don't put it in. So I just decided my duels will live in my legacy build binders, and eventually if I decide to put them in, I'll put them in. But so I've compensated the mana base otherwise. Then there's also a lot of like legacy staples that aren't in there. I don't have a Vendilion Click, I don't have a Vidalcan Shackle, I don't have a Dark Confidant. Some of those cards that are pretty much traditional inclusions I just haven't included yet. So I think it's fun. It certainly drafts well. It's not broken. The archetypes that you can expect are built in white weenie, mono red, obviously. I've dropped green aggro and black aggro. Green is very ramp heavy with a high top end. Black is basically every removal deck, and some more controllers cards with discard. Blue is blue. It just does what blue does, I guess. And so those are the things that are in there. We drafted this. You probably drafted this more than anyone other than myself.
I believe so. I believe I'm the number one drafter.
You are the number one. Also number one stunner. Two titles you hold. Is there anything about this particular cube you'd like to share before we start firing off?
Yeah, I have a very basic drafting Zach's cube strategy. I have a certain pick order I keep in my mind, and I draft things in this order. Number one, take cards that are broken, like Balance, or I don't know. I think Silver and Library is in that category.
All the broken cards that aren't so broken that I've taken them out, like Tinker.
The remaining broken. Yeah, it used to be like you would take Tinker or Soul Ring.
He was watching Ian turn to Tinker for Inkwell Leviathan against one of our friends who plays Magic once a year. That taught me I probably should take Tinker out of my cube, which I did while you were still playing, I think.
Yeah,
I just took it out and put something else in. But
then, any card that can win the game on its own, like a Grave Titan, would be one. And then mana fixing I take third, because you want to be able to cast your spells.
Right. You love to splash.
And then fourth is any really efficient, like 2-for-1, or any super efficient spell. Then I don't know, good removal, good guys.
Yeah. We don't actually get to draft with a lot of people all that much, so Winston drafting is basically the main outlet for our cube drafting. So there's a lot of strategies that I employ in Winston drafting that I would not do during an 8-man draft, but I will tell you all about it. We'll go ahead and get started now. Ian is going to put his headphones in.
I'm going to travel inside the isolation booth.
He's going to the isolation booth. And then I will take a second. Here in a second, I'm going to switch the camera out. And then hopefully you'll be able to see my hands, and I'm going to narrate my picks. Feel free to comment. I don't know if anyone's actually watching. Yeah, 3 people are watching.
What?
So
I thought there was literally no one. Now there's 3. Now
I have like a. It's the smallest possible following, but I have a following. It's non-marginal. But so you'll be able to see my picks. I'll give you my explanation of why I'm doing it. At no point will I claim, and I imagine I speak for you as well, that we are good at Magic. We will probably make some wrong picks. Feel free to tell me how wrong we are. I would love nothing more than to hear some criticisms of my list or the picks. That's basically how you get better. There's no format I love to lose more in than Cube. I just like to I just like the games to be good, and I like to figure out little interactions I may have missed before. So, with that being said, anything else you would like to add?
Oh yeah, a fun game that the viewers can play at this point is they can watch and count how many times I screw up the cube pile, the Flintstone pile.
Yes, that's a sub game. That's a sub game we play where Ian inadvertently tries to screw it up, and I advertently try to keep up with his. So we'll take a break here, and we'll switch the camera out, and then once we come back, we will start with the draft. All right, so we are back. Hopefully, this is the first time we've ever done this. I literally bought this other camera like 2 hours ago because it was on clearance at Best Buy. But hopefully this will work. Ian is not listening.
I'll engage isolation booth.
Okay. First we'll determine pick order in the only way that is allowed on my stream. I win. Yeah, it's Scissors Lizard. Or I had Scissors Lizard. So Scissors Lizard gets another one on the top. So for those of you who don't know how to Winston draft, that seems very unlikely because you probably would not be watching this if you didn't know how to Winston draft. But basically what's going to happen is I'm going to look at the first card. If I like that card, I'm going to take that pile. If not, I'm going to top it off from the stack, move to the second pile, and repeat that process. If I don't like that one, I'll move to the third pile. And if I don't like that one, I'll top it off, and then you take one randomly. Each time you'll be taking the entire pile. So, good to go? All right, so we'll start. This is one of Ian's favorite cards in the cube. I'll just give you my brief explanation of what I try to do. I try to stay as open as possible. I try to take artifacts as possible because you don't really know what's going to be in this 100 cards out of the cube. But I really like to be black-green. And so I'm going to take this in an effort to go down that road. When Ian watches this after the fact, he's going to be very upset that I took this first. And already it begins. So he'll take one off the top. Okay, so both these cards are pretty good together. I really try to stay away from this very aggressive deck in a Winston format because if I take these cards and then like the rest of the stack doesn't yield that kind of enough support for that, you're kind of hosed. So I'm going to pass on those. I really like this. This is one of the high-end cards. These are basically exactly where I want to be. So I'm going to take these knowing that I might have to switch at some point, but I really want to be in this type of game plan in this format. I'm almost positive that Ian is listening to Wu-Tang Clan right now, which makes this draft all that much better. So Ian has picked off the top the last few times. Okay, so This one has gotten remarkably better. This card I really like. I've added it to my queue recently. This one I've been thinking about cutting lately, but um, to keep him off of these, and for this is worth the value. So I would have taken that pack for just the one card, but getting some others is a bonus. That was a thinker. That one was a thinker. It's a good card, but at this point I'm not desperately looking for a sideboard card. Again, both these are strong. The fixing is good. I don't know if I really want to build around these cards right now. I'll be taking these. This card is so good against, both of these cards are so good against Planeswalkers. And they're pretty good at just tempo cards to get to my high end, so I'm going to take these. Alright, what do we got? I don't really want to be in this right now. The Bone Horde's alright, but... Yep. Green fixing is something that I definitely rate highly. Should have some kind of like theme music while this is going on. I like this card a lot. I don't know. This is not really the kind of... This is basically... like Matt Cranstuber was talking about last night on his cube draft. That's basically a red card masquerading as a black card. I like recalls. Like if I can get enough green fixing, then I might end up in like a bug control list, which is list. Just already starting to use jargon, but that's exactly where I would like to be. If I could find like the dragon's a finisher and pick up some more removal, and then the green to smooth it all out in a couple counters or card drawing spells. That's exactly where I want to be. Off the top again. This card is like one of the most underpowered cards in the cube, but I just want to make sure that there's some kind of main board graveyard hate. I can't take any of these, and I just hope that he's not going to take the bowling. I really like Legionnaire in every deck. It's almost impossible to remove in combat. I think I'm going to take it. It's more of a defensive. I guess I could end up in a deck where I'm more aggressively trying to take chunks out of my opponent's life total, but as of right now, it's basically just a 2-cost wall with first strike that lets me get a little bit deeper in the game. Alright, at this point I'm not exactly sure what Ian... Ooh. This card I like a lot, just from the shenanigans that are available. I will take it. Still hunting for removal at this point. I haven't been watching, so I'm not sure if we missed some piles or not. I'm going to assume that we didn't. I like the tempo of this card. I just want to take it. I think I'm going to end up blue and black, but I like this value card. I mean, who doesn't like value cards? Like, that's not anything new to anyone. Literally anyone who's going to watch this is going to love any of those 187 type creatures, but I particularly like that one because it gives my deck a little bit of velocity and it lets me kind of stall the game out. Yes, so I'll be taking both of these. I won't be leaning hard on this as a discard outlet, but I will definitely be taking... I recently added this to my cube a couple months ago, and I'm really pleased with how it's worked out. That's going to be... That's exactly what I wanted. Now I just want a creature that costs 6 mana. I'm not playing that. I don't really know if I can play the Forbid right now. I might just take this in case that the red is open and maybe abandon my green and go into a Grixis plan. I think I might do that. I have a very important question for you.
Yes.
What kind of milkshake would you like from Chick-fil-A? I specifically requested milkshakes.
Oh, that chocolate.
You want a number 1, right?
Yeah.
Timeout in the stream while we get Chick-fil-A for dinner. Hooray!
I'm sorry for people in the stream who aren't having a delicious dinner.
It's good. These are all good?
Yes. I just took this pile and topped it.
Okay. Is your deck awesome?
No.
Oh, I really want this card, but I don't really know how I'm going to cast it, and we're halfway through the draft. I don't really think I want to. Yeah, that's exactly what I want. So now I'm going to try to find a way that I can play just blue and black cards. That's the win condition I wanted. Not to use that word, but... So I'm going to shuffle these green cards to the back of the pack, bring the blue ones to the front, and see if we can just play a good old-fashioned blue-black control deck. Yep. Not giving him access to those two is pretty fun, too. Although I didn't want the Lingering Souls, so... Since he didn't want it, that's probably a good sign that he's not... I just don't want his deck to be, like, super aggressive, and I don't think it is. So... That's good. Alright. I would love to play this, but I just don't think, I don't know if you noticed, but this, yep, that'll work. I just don't think this deck has a lot of, I don't have any fixing. There's a chance that this pool just doesn't have a lot of fixing. Which happens. I don't like precede the packs. So, this guy. I always think about taking this card out. I just don't want to play it. It might be the card that my deck wants, but I just don't want to play it. This is a very good card. On the off chance that I can find some red fixing and play those red cards, I'm going to take that. Because I got Bit Blast and Blightning. Well, Blightning's not as good in my deck as it probably is in his. You can clearly see that Ian has cut us off from green cards, which is not surprising me. But, oh yes, that's perfect. Just picked this up, actually. So, pretty fun. Here you go. Almost done. Depending on how well this goes and when our dinner gets here, we'll take us. Okay, so I think it's funny because this card is almost it's like almost redundant now with some of the spoilers from Return to Ravnica. Now's the point where I look through my pool and see how many removal spells I have. I have one way of getting rid of it. I can bounce it. he's almost good enough that I'm just going to take him. I don't know if that's correct or whatnot, and I have a ton of red removal. Ian might just be like mono green, or he's like green white ramp probably, because I have a lot of the weenie creatures he's passed. I'm really anxious to see how that Phantasmal Image plays. I haven't played it in a while. I used to have a Vesuvian Shapeshifter in that spot, and it's just not as good a card. I'm going to take this simply so that he can have it. I don't know if he's splashing for that or not, but he won't be now. He won't be now. So this is looking pretty good. I've got a decent amount of removal if I ever find, the Shards Grixis land or City of Brass or something like that, then I might get to play this sweet red removal suite. Oh, I just want to play against this card. Or this one. He's going to be playing that, so he's going to hate it. Just going to hate 1, 2, 3. Someone 19 playables with about 30 cards to go. So alright. That's like the best 2 cards possible. Yeah. The barter is really good. Makes that Persecutor really playable. Also gives me outs to things like Changeling Colossus or Community Colossus or... Yep, so it just keeps getting better. It's also nice to steal this from him. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 8. So 22 now. I'm assuming I'm playing these blue cards, but I might play the red ones. No, I might probably play the blue card. Ian's having a rough go, but he's taking one off the top pretty much every turn. The question is whether or not I want to give him access to this guy. I don't know if my deck can beat it, because I'm basically stoned to it. I got Hexmage and I've got Sphinx, which can interact with it, but from a very similar draft we played in the past where I had a black face deck, he wrecked me with this, because I would just play one creature at a time and he would run me over. So now we're looking for fixing, which does appear to be in there. Or Ian's gobbled it all up. That's actually a very likely scenario, is that Ian has just scarfed it up. So we've got this many cards left. Did you top this one off? Did you put one on here?
I don't know.
Yes. Oh. Well, luckily it doesn't matter because you're going to see it. He's going to see it anyway. I didn't want either of those guys. Well, I really like this. Kearney said last night on his cube stream that he's not really into this card. I'm going to play it. I'm just trying to get to my answers quicker. Or not my business quicker, because right now I'm winning the game with Abyssal Persecutor, Bloodgift Demon, Sphinx, and Image. So I'm pretty good for finishers. He's surely going to play this. I think my deck is good enough now that I can afford to take that from him. Because the last thing I want to give his like rampy green-white deck is access to more high-end stuff. Yep. Windmill. That was a good one. That may be Ian's second favorite card in this cube. He likes it. I like it. I hope to beat him with it. Alright. And now the dregs. Well, that's about the best possible thing that I could hope for. So we'll take that. We'll give him those. And this concludes the draft portion of this show. I'll just build my deck here so I can see, and then when you're ready, we'll play.
Okay.
So you want to just go build it
somewhere else?
Yeah. Just wherever. Be resourceful. Alright, so I'm going to switch cameras, and then...
You're going to walk up your deck building?
I am. Mine's pretty easy. I think is your deck seemed pretty like frazzled because you just had to keep taking off the top. I know one color you are because I only saw like 4 of those cards.
I also know one color.
I was afraid that was happening, but
we'll see what happens.
Yeah. So. All right. So Ian is going to step out, and then I'm going to build here. I'm just going to sort out playables first, and then we'll look at color breakdown. So I didn't get any fixing other than this one Vivid Marsh, so my dream of playing these red cards just didn't get there. And well, my green didn't get there either, but I did take these 3 cards away from him, the Blockworm, Thornling, and Rampant Growth. Autographed Rampant Growth, which cements how baller time this is. But there was some fairly efficient hate drafting in that, so those are unplayable. So my fixing, now let's just sort out creatures. On the curve, let's see how everything looks. Yeah, my removal package is pretty ridiculous. So I've got these 2. I've got these at the 2s. I probably won't play that Prowler. I don't think like the one of Mannequin is probably worth that. The image is a 2-drop, but not really. I mean, play that at whatever point it seems reasonable to do so. So what I got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. So I need to cut 2, assuming I'm playing 17 lands, which seems fine. I got 2 draw spells, the cantrip. Should be fine, I would think. Try to move these down here so everybody can see them. But, yeah, so I don't want to play this Prowler. I'm not comboing. Then what's the worst card? So all the removal stays, it's guaranteed. The 2 6s stay. The 2 4s stay, or the 2 5s stay. Oh, this is a 4, I guess. I mean, I want all, the Fulminator Mage isn't very good, actually. That's just not a card that my deck wants. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. Okay, so that's what I'm going to do. And then I'm going to go 17 lands. So the Vivid Marsh, I'll just play... I want to play 8 and 8, but maybe I should play 9 and 7. See, the problem is that I'm trying to play Forbidden Capsize with double blue. 8 and 8 might work, but I have a lot of double black. So 9 and 7. Let's do that. 9 and 7. Yeah, because these cards are late game cards anyway, so we'll play 7 John Avon Islands and 8 John Avon Swamps. And see how that goes. I don't know how long it's going to take Ian to work out his deck. If anyone is watching, I would be very curious to see what your opinion was of all the draft results. But yeah, I think I like where it ended up. I mean, my two drops are all basically defensive. I've got two anti-planeswalker cards in the Hex Mage and Revoker. The Legionnaire is just, like I said, just a wall. I mean, there's going to be some decks that he's going to play where his 1 and 2 drops just can't profitably attack through it. So I'm fine with that. Plus, it gives me a creature at the end of the game. If he's light on removal, it can get some damage in. Image is obviously a great card. Bone Shredder's ultimate 2 for 1. So is Seagate. It's just great tempo cards. I'm just trying to get to my high end here. Skinrender is a great 2 for 1, as is Necrotal. Abyssal Persecutor, as much removal as I have. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 removal spells to get rid of it, including Repulse, so I can bounce it, or the Capsize. So that seems fine. Bloodgift Demon is a card I recently added when I took the black aggro out. I think it's a pretty good body. I mean, it's a 4-turn clock, and it often replaces itself. And I guess there is that corner case where occasionally you kill somebody with it, but that's never happened. And then probably the best 2 finishers I could have from my deck, Grave Titan, which will just win the game by itself. It's not answered immediately, although I expect his deck to have some O-Ring, Journey to Nowhere type effects. And then the Sphinx of Jor-El, which is probably the best finisher for this specific deck. Then I've got a couple bounce spells and 1 counter spell, just the forbid. I'm not sure how good forbid is going to be in my deck, but it's not going to be bad. 4C is probably the weakest card in my deck, but given that it's easily splashable and gives me a answer to dig out, it gives me a way to dig to answers should I need them. And then the Makeshift Mannequin is just, I don't know, you just get so much value out of that card, being able to cast it at instant speed and get back, any of these guys. Obviously if you get back a Grave Titan or a Persecutor or a Sphinx, it's the best, but even if you just get back, one of these smaller guys at the right instance, it's going to blow them out in combat. So I'm going to play it. So that seems to be it. That is the deck. It's not the deck that I want to be black. I always want to be black in this. I want to be black something when we Winston, just because it has the most answers to everything. But I'm just hoping he's not like super aggressive. But even my low end's pretty good, so hopefully we'll get there. I would have really liked something like Nevinyrral's Disc or something of that nature, but beggars can't be choosers. Sideboard cards, I've got. I guess I can bring in the Prowler and the Fulminated Mage if he's really, really aggressive and I just want to lower my curve down, maybe take out the Bloodgift Demon and bring one of those in. The rest is basically unplayable. So I'm basically just playing the... it's a shame I can't play that... all these red cards. I mean... Devil's Play... Arc Lightning, Lavamancer, Firebolt, Bit Blast. I would have really liked to have been a Grixis deck, or Rakdos, I guess, but it is what it is. So there's my deck. I will wait until Ian comes back. We will shuffle up and begin playing. But one thing while we're doing that, one thing I will mention is that you may have seen earlier when we were apologize. You saw at the beginning of the draft, we picked pick order by playing rock paper scissors here. Any of you have watched my live stream on Fridays at the F&M, that's always how we start. And I've been desperately trying to give these away to people, so I know there's at least a couple of you watching this right now. And for those of you who watch this after the fact on YouTube or in the archives on Twitch, I will gladly send you your very own playset of Rock Lobster, Paper Tiger, and Scissors Lizard. All you have to do is follow me on Twitter, @ZachSellsMagic, and then every week I make a couple of giveaway tweets. Just retweet that to all your friends, kind of help spread the word. And then every week during the F&M stream, I randomly pick one and then send them your way. This week it was at Justin DZ. His cards will probably be getting to him tomorrow. So when they do, he'll post about them and confirm that I am actually giving these away. So I've got tons more sets to give out. They're pretty fun. I guarantee it'll be a good talking point amongst your friends and at your shop. So definitely follow me up on that. I'll just send I will go ahead and send that Twitter here shortly, maybe in between rounds, and then just retweet that, or I'll tell you what, if you just retweet anything, retweet any of my tweets from now until the end of the week, and that'll work. Let me. All right, so I just sent it at 7:13 Eastern on Wednesday, September 19th, which I mentioned so that when you watch this inevitably on YouTube a month from now, don't bombard me expecting them. But it's a fun little thing. So we use them all the time. You can use them too. And while we're talking about it, every week our primary broadcast is at F&M at Lost Legion Games and Comics in South Charleston, West Virginia. We show the standard F&M tournament every week with yours truly on commentary and whoever else I can snag who isn't playing that week. It's a good time, so you should check it out. If you can't make it to, I know most people are going to be playing in their own F&Ms at that time, so we don't expect huge numbers. We're mostly just doing this as a fun little side project. But if you have a chance, you can't make it to your F&M, you're more than welcome to log on and watch ours. So stream starts at 6:30 Eastern every Friday night, or at least every Friday night that we're available. If you're watching now, obviously you know where the Twitch stream is, but if you're watching after the fact, that's twitch.tv/ZachSellsMagic. And while I'm at it, since I basically stole this idea from Matt Kranstuber, if you guys enjoy Magic podcasts, or even if you don't enjoy Magic podcasts, but if you like cubing, or you want to know more about cubing, you should listen to the Joy of Cubing podcast, which is run by Matt Kranstuber of In Contention. Every week he has a guest or two on. They talk about cubing in a variety of different formats, and it's a good listen. You can follow them at Joy of Cubing on Twitter, and they've also been doing Tuesday night cube streams just like this at twitch.tv/joyofcubing. It's a good watch, so you should check it out. Ian is back in the room now, so we will be playing shortly. So I'm going to take a quick break, and then we'll fire back off with when the round starts.